Welcome back to our part 2 of chapter 2 entitled A Call for the Youth. And we'll be continuing under the subtitle Cherished Broad Ideas. So, Ellen G. White is telling us that young men should have broad ideas, wise plans, so that we can make most of our opportunities. Because also John said that I have written unto you, young men, because ye are strong, and the word of God abideth in you, and ye have overcome the wicked one. So, so John is telling us that as young men we are able enough to destroy the evil one, which is Satan, and that we can also help to spread the word more, and also that true-hearted. It says that true-hearted young men who delight to be students in the school of Christ, they can do great work for the masters if they can heed to the command of the captain, which is Jesus. And also he said that as we are supposed to be men, as young men we are supposed to be men who walk humbly, who will walk humbly with God, and who will stand before Him, your who will stand before Him in our God-given manhood, and also that we should be free from impurity and free from all contaminations, from sensuality, which is corruption. So we must also be men of all. We must be also men that despise all falsity, which is also another word for false, anything that is not true, and also to despise wickedness, and that we must dare to be true and brave, and also we will be holding aloft the banner of the Prince Emmanuel. Do not sit down and neglect to do anything, simply because you cannot do some great thing, but do whatever your hands find to do with thoroughness and energy. So here, even if we know that we can't do great things, we can still do what our hands can do. We can still multiply more of it. Under the subtitle, the call to enlist. So here, Ellen G. White is telling us that Christ is like calling us, but are calling us to be laborers to in His standard. Let me just say volunteer laborers, and to bear the cross, and to bear the banner of the cross before the world, and that the church also is wanting for young men. Young. Let me just say they are, yeah, it also said that the church is wanting young men who will bear a courageous testimony, and who will, with their ardent zeal, which means with their very strong passion, to stir up the sluggish energy of God's people, which means that as young men we are supposed to boost up the church, the church, to do more work for God, but there is something we have to do before we can serve God. The thing is that before we can serve God, we must give themselves to God's work, and also we must cleanse our soul temple of all impurity, and to enthrone Christ, and to dethrone Satan from our hearts. So he, so will not our young men respond to the invitation of Christ and answer, "Here am I, send me"? Young men, press to the front and identify yourselves as laborers together with Christ, taking up the word He left to carry it on to its completion. So Ellen G. White is telling us that, Christ is calling us to be His laborers, and we are supposed to answer just like Isaiah did. "Here am I, send me." Under the subtitle, Essential Elements of Character. God does not bid the youth to be less aspiring, which means not to want something, to want Aspiring means to want something. So the elements of character that make a man successful and honored among men: the irrepressible desire for some greater good, the indomitable will, the strenuous exertion, the untiring perseverance are not to be cast out. Which means that we just have to be laborers of Christ, and that nothing of our no good character of ours that also contributes to the work of God should be crushed out. Thank you for watching this video, and the next chapter will be chapter 3, seeking to please Him. So also I encourage you to read this book. It's a good book for young people, and maybe if you don't have it, you can check in. You can download the app Ellen G. White Writings, where you will find the book Message to Young People. My name is Brina Kayel, and we'll see you next time. Bye.